today with these two beautiful ladies. Basically, these are my two best friends. Ouch. And today, what we're gonna do today is that I'm gonna do their makeup. It's gonna be two very different styles. To be honest, I have no clue what I'm gonna do today. So yeah, we'll figure it out together. So please keep on watching and give it a like if you like it. So to start, I'm gonna use the same primer for both of them. It's the Hanover Primer by Too Faced. Both of them have like combination to more like dry skin. So this primer works for both of them. And I'm just gonna take 2 dots of the primer and apply it directly with my fingers all over her beautiful baby face. Doesn't she have the most cute cheeks in the world?
Yay!
Are you laughing?
Yeah, I feel like in the spa.
Okay, so for hair, basically Steph and I, we have very similar like skin, complexion, color, everything. We're both yellow, pink.
Sisters.
Yes. So I'm gonna use the shade that I usually use on myself, which is the FitMe foundation. It's in the shade Classic Ivory, and I'm just gonna apply it on my hand and then use as little product as possible because she doesn't need that much foundation. So I'm just gonna build it up slowly and I'm gonna apply it very gently.
I hope.
I hope. Yeah. So basically guys, for you who are new to makeup, the best way to apply it is upwards. Basically this is gonna guarantee that you don't have like premature aging skin. I'm gonna use a little bit more foundation. I'm gonna focus it on her cheeks. She has very cute pink cheeks like me, so I'm gonna focus it on the cheeks just to try to hide a little bit of the redness. To conceal her under eyes, I'm gonna use the FitMe concealer. This is in the shade 15, and I'm gonna apply just some because she doesn't really have dark circles, this lucky ass. And some on the chin to highlight those areas. A little bit on the nose to define it just a little bit. And I'm gonna use the beauty blender to mix in the product. You have to make sure that you mix in the product really well. To set her face, I'm gonna use the MAC Studio Fix powder, and this is in the shade NC20. I'm gonna use this huge fluffy brush from Real Techniques. I'm just gonna focus it mainly on the cheeks. I'm gonna apply it very gently. I don't want too much product because she has dry skin like me, so we don't want her skin to look even drier. You look so cute! Oh. And to my favorite part, basically I'm going to bronze her face a little bit with the Soleil bronzer from Too Faced. And I'm gonna use this brush right here. It's a contour brush from Real Techniques. I'm gonna go gently with the product because this is a very harsh, it's a very pigmented bronzer, so you don't want to apply it like right away very harshly. You just want to build it up. It smells like chocolate, huh? These kids love chocolate more than I do. Yeah, actually.
Hershey,
which is very hard to beat, honestly. Gonna apply some on the jawline to contour that area a little bit. I'm not contouring, but I want to add some dimension to her face. Gonna do the same thing on the other side with the other cheek. And on the forehead, just a little bit. You look gorgeous, girl.
Thank
So this bronzer is cool tone enough to use it a little bit like as a contouring shade. So I'm gonna apply some on the beauty sponge, and I'm gonna use a little bit to contour the nose, but very gently. I'm gonna use the clean side of the beauty sponge and apply some more of the powder foundation, and I'm gonna set the under eyes. To brighten up the look, I'm gonna use my Hourglass palette. Yes, I love this palette. I know I have used it in every single video. I'm gonna use the shade right here. I don't know what it's called. I'm gonna link it down below. It's the lightest shade. It's basically like a very pale banana shade. I'm gonna use it with this brush to highlight the areas under the eyes, the chin, in between the brows, and open the eyes. And yeah. For blush today, I'm gonna be using this beautiful blush from Too Faced. You probably gathered by now that I love Too Faced, and this is in the shade Your Love is King. So I'm gonna apply it with this blush brush from Real Techniques, obviously. We have very similar cheeks, so I'm basically going to focus it on very near the areas where I would usually put the highlighter. So the Japanese made. Why do you smile when I say Japanese?
Because we love Japan. We love Japan.
Oh, we love sushi though.
Oh. Wow, Chama.
Is someone else.
For the brows, I'm going to be using the Essence How to Make Brows palette, and I'm going to use the taupe shade right here with this very small brush that comes in the palette. So I'm gonna leave her like this for now while I do Michelle's base, and so later on I'm gonna do her eyes. So I'm gonna use the same primer as I used on Steph. This is the Hanover Primer by Too Faced. So I'm gonna apply it directly on the skin.
Like in the spot too.
But wait guys, at the end, they're gonna do my makeup. I just decided. Yep.
I'm the worst person in makeup. That's why she's my friend. She's learning me. Teaching me.
Yeah.
So for foundation for Michelle, I'm gonna be using the Too Faced Born This Way foundation. This is in the shade Porcelain. So I'm gonna be using the beauty blender for her, and I'm just gonna apply 2 pumps. Yeah, I know it looks like a lot, but this is a water-based foundation, so yes.
I'm not even done.
So I'm gonna buff that in very gently.
That's my beautiful girl.
For concealer, I'm going to be using the Better Skin Super Stay Better Skin Concealer by Maybelline. This is in the shade Light. And I'm gonna apply it the same way as I did with Steph. Under the eyes.
It's like you're crying.
On the chin. Little bit in between the brows and on the nose.
Oh, Sakura.
I'm also gonna apply a little bit here. She has a little bit of redness under her nose. And I'm gonna blend it with, obviously, the Beauty Blender. She moves so much, by the way. I've been doing her makeup since I'm like 12 years old.
We love pink.
Can
you can
tell?
see, yeah, guys.
Can you tell we love pink? I'm gonna use the same powder as I used on Steph. It's the Studio Fix powder by MAC Cosmetics in the shade MC20. I'm gonna use it all over her face, obviously, very gently.
Something that I love about Michi is she has
She
too much
has freckles.
freckles.
I know.
I love
So
that.
cute. For Mitch, I'm gonna do a little. Mitch, I'm gonna do it a little bit different. I'm going to be using a little bit more product under the eyes because we both have very deep dark circles. So I'm gonna be using the same powder I used to set the face with the beauty blender, but I'm gonna go just a little bit more intense than I did with Steph. So I'm gonna apply some on the forehead as well. A little bit on this eye. And I'm gonna use these two shades from the palette. This is the she forgot. I'm gonna use two shades from the palette, from the Hourglass palette. It's gonna be Diffuse Light and the Banana shade that I used earlier on with the same beauty sponge. And I'm gonna apply it a little bit under the eyes just to brighten that area. Some more. And then with the white banana shade, and some on the other side. And just on the other areas where I would usually brighten, so in between the brows, on the chin. I'm hitting pan on the palette. And a little bit on the nose, yes, I know. For bronzer, I'm going to be using the MAC bronzing powder. I'm gonna use the same type of brush that I used on Steph. A little bit on the cheeks to warm up the skin, to warm up the face. A little bit on the chin. For brows, I'm going to be using the same palette, and I'm gonna take the two darkest shades on the palette, so basically this dark brown's here, and I'm gonna here. And I'm gonna take the small brush that comes with it and outline the brows.
Open your eyes.
I'm sleeping inside.
For blush, I'm going to be using the lightest shade in the Hourglass palette. Is this peachy shade right here, and I'm gonna use the same blush brush that I use on Steph. It's actually not the same one. I have two different ones. They have different shapes. So on her, I will focus it on the apples of her cheeks and a little bit on her nose, of course,
Like always.
yes. By the way, I don't do this to everyone. It really depends on like our age and the look that I'm going for. So yes.
So cute.
For Steph's eyes, I'm going to be using the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. This thing smells like heaven.
So sweet.
Oh my goodness.
So I don't know what I'm gonna do, but let's figure it out. Okay, I know. So I'm going to be using this shade right here. It's called Candide Peach right here. And I'm going to be using it on as a transition shade basically with this huge blending brush. Close your eyes, please. Same on the other eye. I'm gonna use the shade right here to intensify the look. It's called Summer Yum.
You're right.
And I'm gonna use this more precise brush right here to apply it. I'm gonna focus it on the outer corners of the eyes. Just make sure that you blend very well the product, obviously, because you don't want it to look harsh.
Wow. Me encanta, chama, demasiado como
I love it.
joven. Bello.
I'm going to use these two shades right here to complete the complete the eyes. It's the Georgia and the Peaches and Cream shade. This is a classic from this palette. And I'm going to focus it on this other half of the lid. I'm gonna be using this concealer right here to intensify the gold shade that I'm going to be applying to this part of the eye. I'm gonna be using this Beauty sponge to blend it. What I'm going to be applying is this shade right here. It's called Nectar. It's this very light golden shade. To intensify the look even more, I'm going to be using the shades right here. It's called Charm, I'm sure. I'm not so sure. And I'm going to be using this brush right here. And I'm gonna use it near the waterline. Can you open your eyes? To finish up the eyes, I'm going to be using the Lash Sensational Mascara by Maybelline. To finish up the look, I'm going to complete it with the highlighter. This is from Anastasia Beverly Hills. It's a palette called Aurora, and I'm going to be taking the shade right here. It's called Eclipse, and mix it with Lyra, whatever it's called. So you know the drill on the high points of the cheek. Oh my god, this highlighter is amazing, guys. A little bit on the nose right here, on the cupid bow, a little bit on the chin, and just under the brow, so on the brow bone. For lips, I'm going to be using two lipsticks. This is Pink Plaid by MAC Cosmetics, and this is Honey Love. And I'm going to be mixing them. Basically, the way I achieve very natural lips is by just dabbing in the product without, like actually applying it completely directly. Obviously, unless I'm going for that look.
Dabbing.
I'm gonna mix in Honey Love. I love mixing these two shades together. And I'm just going to complete the lips with this lip gloss by MAC. It's in the shade Pink Plaid as well. I'm just gonna apply a little bit just to add some glow. And I'm going to set the entire look with the MAC Fix Plus spray. Close your eyes. For Mitch, I'm going to be using the Modern Renaissance palette. This is probably the most beautiful palette that I own. Actually, it is the most beautiful palette that I own because of the pigmentation of the colors, the color range, everything. Like, I feel so inspired when I see this palette. And yeah. So let's see what we're gonna do today. Honestly, as I told you, I have no clue what I'm gonna do. This is all improvisation, and let's see. To make sure that her look is very intense, I'm going to be applying some primer on her face. Actually, this is concealer, so I could apply, just a eyeshadow primer or a concealer. For me, it's basically the same exact thing. So for the transition shade, I'm going to be using this shade right here. It's this beautiful orangey color. It's called Real Gar. I'm gonna use just a little bit because this thing is intense. So I'm going to build it up. For the rest of the lid, I'm going to be using this color right here. It's called Burnt Orange. The name is really ugly, honestly. For the other half of the lid, I will be using the shade Love Letter, which is this very beautiful fuchsia shade. I'm going to be applying it with this brush right here. Basically, I'm going for a very ombre look with like burnt oranges, fuchsias. I'm gonna add this shade right here, Primavera. And I'm gonna add it to this bar right here, just to make that fuchsia more shimmery. The same exact color in the inner corners to make them pop. I'm gonna clean the edges. I'm going to add the same Lash Sensational mascara. I'm going to highlight her face with the Becca Champagne Pop Highlighter. To finish up the look, I will be adding some of this Flawed Fabulous lipstick. It's a retro matte shade. So this is it for today, guys. What do you guys think?
Bravo! For Michi!
As you can see, these are very different styles, and yeah, so basically I went for a more like natural glam, natural makeup look on Steph, and for a more hello, it's me glam. And what intensifies her look a lot is obviously her lips, and what makes her look really cute is the fact that I use mainly peach tones on her eyes. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like watching videos like this with other people, let me know, leave a comment below. And if you want me to do more videos with them, like
Like it.
exactly. So yes, if you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And yes, so see you next time. Ciao.
Ciao. Mwah, mwah.